Game is Spanish Main. This is a Francis Tresham game, and I picked it up quite some time ago when everything that I had picked up of his was both innovative and showed glimpses of genius. This is the first game that I'm not sure. It's definitely innovative, but I'm not sure so much about how much genius it's going to be. And that's part of what kept me away from it. Another is the rules are written horribly. So Tresham, I did a video on him, but he designed the 1829 games and 1830, and basically created a whole genre of economic gaming that I'm very much into. Before that, he did Civilization, which to me is, this absolute brilliance and simplicity. Everything that's been done to modify Civilization since the original has hurt it, as far as I'm concerned. The additional trade cards were the first and perhaps worst of the impacts, but definitely when we got rid of the horse race, it was a clean little horse racing game initially, and when that went away with Advanced Civilization and it became like this point salad, it stopped. It just became bigger and more complex, and it became like a complex Euro long before its time. What it was a proto-Euro. Way too long, but to qualify as like some of those early Euros. But the same kind of, it's real simple, this is what you do, this is how you do it, here are the rules, and everybody had problems with one rule, which had to do with the trading, but they just couldn't understand. And then I picked up Revolution, which I thought was really well done, really interesting, not, ground shaking, but, interesting ideas and whatever. This one looked interesting to me. It's going to be an exploration game, hence you have the tiles here. Now, my intention had been to fiddle around with it and play a few turns and then come in and start, set it back up and start my videos. And I do that usually with games that are out of my comfort zone, and this one definitely is. However, I'm having a hell of a time doing that. There's a number of things going on in my life which are keeping me from wanting to game. The biggest one being actually my addiction to this stupid fucking, what I call browser games, even if it isn't. But also, I came down here, my lights aren't working right. You can see this dimness here, there's a buzzing going on. This happens, and then it clears up, and I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it convinced me to go back to another task that I was doing down here because it's too fucking hot to be up in the attic or in the loft, and which is dealing with my magazine games, and I'm like 98% done with that. The rest of it I need to deal with in different ways, and I'm not thrilled with what came of it. But basically, I had my magazine game in my file cabinets, and I had these little boxes, which I think I'll devote to books, filled with Ziploc baggies with the counters in them. Well, I was hoping to put the counters in a folder, in individual folders with the games. What I ended up with a solution, because that just created a mess inside the file cabinet. I went out and bought lots of folders. I don't know. I don't have them here, the box for them anymore. I did a video with that had the box in it. I got the bags. They're over there. Hey, that's me. Good thing I'm wearing clothing. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, anyway, I've had a long-term fight in my head. Did I want to have my baggies in the file cabinet, or were they easier in the boxes? They're easier to access from the boxes, but I was starting to get too many, and it was getting confusing, and I wanted, you know, I would have needed more boxes, but I already had 4 boxes, and 4 boxes was confusing. And you know what? This should be its own video. But anyway, I made this decision to put all the baggies in the back. Okay, this is going to be a failed intro. We're just going to talk about my file cabinet here. So, and when I say 95%, what I mean is I have a box here of baggies that you couldn't quite find in my filing system. And some of them are things that I don't even own, you know, and duplicates and stuff like that. And I got a few extra up here. I also have some magazines that I don't own games for, and there's some magazines upstairs with the games that haven't been filed yet. But I've been using this file cabinet system with, I think, like 2 drawers being dedicated to my gaming. And those 2 drawers, I would put manila folders, these kind of things. And I had a pile of them here. And I would use, you know, a folder for an era. So all of World War II would go in one folder, you know. And that's the shortest, World War I also, and Civil War. But these were really, really lots of games in these folders. If you can think of how many World War II games there are, how problematic that would become. Other eras were easier to split up, and I guess I could do, oh, this is for 41, this is for 42, but anyway. And then things like the science fiction folder became very hefty. I got this was, it's broken, but some of the internal parts are a little broken. And it's not easy to manage, but that's fine. I can manhandle it. It's just when I was doing the sorting, it was a pain in the ass. But I found this in the trash in Phoenix, like much of my furniture, because I've been a trash picker all my life. This is the first time I've lived in a place that, you know, is my place to live, where I can't just find trash out on the street regularly. Phoenix was especially good because I was living in complexes. First time here I was as well, where people constantly are moving in and out and furniture is just showing up. This is for all the V's, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, things kind of work kind of nice without the baggies in it. And now I've got all the baggies back here, but they're harder to get to and harder to find. And I'm going to hate this. I know it. There's a reason that I didn't want to go that way. And I bought all these folders. I knew I needed more folders, but I bought all these folders, went out for a trip, bought like 60 new folders, because I wanted to put baggies in each one. And then, you know, in some cases I would keep the game in a bag and I would figure out, hey, can I put a sticker or something like that? In some cases I've got these other folders and stuff, and maybe I would use a Post-it or something. I didn't know what. So that's not resolved yet, but that's fine. One problem is these don't really quite fit. This thing is flexible, it moves back and forth. There's a lot of drawer back there. I might, there, see, it's broken. I might have been able to get like 2 sets of folders in each drawer, but the stuff in the back would be impossible to reach. The baggies, at least I can kind of fiddle through. But I'm finding with all this extra space for the folders, which I could have just bought baggies or something thinner, I'm using up most of the filing cabinet. I could probably have saved 1 drawer, but that's okay. But anyway, dealing with that shit is a big part of why I didn't get started on Spanish Main, and I'll come back and do the intro video for that. Because I knew I wanted to do the folder and my file cabinet and everything, But I thought I would get started on this. It's because I'm having such a fucking hard time getting started on this game. It's been, I don't know how long, 2 weeks since I finished Austerlitz or something. And this has been the next game for a long time before that. I was expecting to come down here and deal with it in the because of hot weather and whatever, but I just ended up playing this stupid fucking video game. All right, I guess I put this up instead of the intro that I was prepping to start dealing with. Other side of things, up here, yeah, I've got those baggies, the boxes of baggies, were part of a huge mess that was over here, and I got most of that mess cleaned up. Of course, being me, and this is how the filing went, you know, I'd put an hour in or whatever, 45 minutes, and then I'd wander away, and I'd leave it for a day. You know, that's just how I do things somehow. Kind of actually fits in with work too, although I don't have the same, I have some sort of devotion towards actually getting shit done sometimes on the work side. Now, up here is where all my war games are, and not all my historical stuff, but all the stuff that I'd consider war game-ish enough, although maybe there's a few things hiding down in the other set that I grumble about and make decisions one way or another. But almost all those magazine games and other loose things are war games. So they kind of belong up here, but there's no fucking way a file cabinet fit up here. I did some measurements. It wouldn't have fit here. I don't know, it maybe would have fit in this space, but I also would have had to haul it up the stairs, which, man, that felt like a bad choice. I may rethink this whole thing, and now that I've got it more organized, think, because if it should be able to fit here, and it kind of doesn't make sense for, you know, my file cabinet of war games to be down with my Euro games. In some ways, most of the games in that file cabinet are even less, there's less likely games that I would pull out and say, hey, let's play a multiplayer game. You know, something like Time of Crisis or the coin games or whatever. These are things that pretty easily I could get people who are, you know, in my normal gaming, if you can call it such a thing. You know, we're talking once or twice a year now, which is good. It's better than it used to be. But, you know, if I were to have gaming going on down there, this would be the... There is stuff from up here that I'd want to pull down, you know, and then there's, I don't know, probably tons of stuff there that I'd never want anybody to play with me. Like it's only there for my solo experience. But my sense of OCD-ishness in terms of organization and whatever says that the war games should all be in one place. Now, my solution before was file cabinet down the basement. I don't know how I'm going to haul that thing on my own. If I decide that was probably the main decision, was I could get it in the basement. Bringing it up 2 flights of stairs just seemed insane, especially when one of the flights is this thing, which is much easier to deal with than another spiral staircase at a place I was looking at. But yeah, I'm actually beginning to, oh, I know why. There's plugs here and here that I rely on. That's why I couldn't do it. Now, there was definitely no room here. Here again, plugs covering, like I use all the fucking outlets in this room. And I think that's really what the answer came down to. And I wanted this space, this kind of crawly space back here for the short games. I know, they're in a stupid place, but yeah. And it was just, where would I put it that it wouldn't get in the way? I mean, I could put it up against the railing. There's no question about that. But and again, there's an outlet here. I didn't know, do I need that outlet? Maybe. I swapped that light around and stuff. So yeah, I really, if there had been less outlets up here, which seems like a horrible thing to complain about, but I really do use them all. This one, you know, I could move this computer somewhere else. It is presumably helpful up here, but I've used it like once. I actually am more likely to run downstairs and check the computer for anything, just because I got my bookmarks on there and everything. This is just my wife's computer, which is a better one than mine. But yeah, the combination of, geez, anywhere I put it would be problematic, and here would be particularly so. Here, which is probably the best place for it, in my opinion, except for that outlet is vital to all my network stuff. But I've got a stupid fucking carbon monoxide alarm down there. Yeah, and this one was going to be too tight because of this thing, I think, because it comes up a little high. I just couldn't find a place that I was willing to put it. But, you know, with this outlet, I've got a power strip. I had an extension cord. The power strip is with my wife's computer, and I would put that somewhere else. Which means that, you know, I could kind of squeeze it in there. But yeah, it would be problematic. It's really a shame that they put so many of the outlets. They have to put a certain number per feet. So like every 8 feet, there has to be an outlet or something. It's just, you know, some kind of laws. And when they finished the loft or whatever, I don't know what they did, but they put in a ton of fucking outlets. And because so much of the odd space was used over there with that shelving, over here, this closet, the outlets had to go, for the most part, in locations that they would be really fucking annoying. Ooh, I didn't know I had a double outlet here. That's interesting. I use this one all the time, but I don't know if that one works. Not all the outlets in the house work. Most of them do. Anyway, this has turned into not what I expected it to. And now I don't want to give up because, hey, I'm talking about something. I'm talking to other humans somehow. But I guess all things must end.